So the first thing you want to do at all times is always just check the gun, make sure that it is safe. So you can see there, totally safe. That would not be a good way to start off cleaning your gun by shooting you get the point. So first thing we got to do is obviously disassemble it. So with the Sig, the 320, very easy. You just lock the slide back, take this lever right here. See if you can see on that camera, and then just push that down. All right, there we go. And then you're just gonna, and like that, it all comes apart very, very beautifully. And like all guns, they're very straightforward. Or no, I shouldn't say all guns, all kind of the pistols here with these types of setups, just 4 pieces. So it's not like an AR-15 or something else that's got, pieces upon pieces all over the place. So there are the 4 parts, and that's what we'll be cleaning. So what I always like to do is start with the barrel here, and that way we can get that soaking. I should note that there's been quite a few rounds put through this, like I said, so I expect this to be pretty dirty. But the way I like to do that is I just use these Hops 9 cleaning patches. I mean, it doesn't have to be these at all, but that's what I use. So what I'm gonna do is just put this here through this thingamabob, and this is really the key to everything. A cheap way to put your your grease in or your lubricant, I should say, is just an old milk carton container. It works great. As far as what am I using, I am using just this CLP break-free. I've used other stuff too, Remington oil and other things, and all of it works as far as I'm concerned just fine. I just happen to have quite a bit of this right now, so that's what I'm using. But we'll put the links down below if you're interested in exactly where that stuff's coming from. But like I said, let's get the barrel soaking. So what I'm gonna do is just dap it in there, and that's gonna get everything nice and lubricated, and then we'll just run that right down through the barrel. So do that a few times. And then you can see right here, it's actually already kind of grimy a little bit, but we'll just let that sit there and soak as we scrub these other things. So on the note of scrubbing, actually, let's get some more oil in here. So put that in there. I'm always very aggressive with it just because this stuff is cheap, and as far as these guns are concerned, I don't think you can really put too much lubricant and oil on them. So I'm always very aggressive with it. Perhaps some would disagree, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, especially where the points of friction happen. But anyway, so just take the barrel. I always like to start with this and then just start scrubbing. This is good hard material, so it's not like you have to worry about scratching it or being too hard with it. So give it a good scrub. Try to get all the nooks and crannies. If you miss a nook or cranny there, I don't believe that it's the end of the world at all. I mean, if you miss a nook or cranny while you're cleaning and that causes the gun to malfunction or something like that, then that gun is not, probably would want to get another gun, because that's not very impressive. I mean, these guns are built, they're workhorses. So you don't have to be obsessive compulsive. I mean, I know some people like to do the white glove cleanings like all the time, but not for me. I like guns, I want to take care of them, but am I going to do a white glove cleaning every time? I am not. So you got that scrubbed down. The other kind of trick that I by no means invented, but have picked up from other people, which is a great trick as far as cost effectiveness, just an old white t-shirt. Now, if this is like a good one that your wife just bought you, you probably should not be using it for this, but you can see right there, dirty, and this is just on the outside, so a lot of grime. But the t-shirt, I think it's 100% cotton, but very easy way to just use it as a rag. I mean, you can go out and buy a specific rag if you want, but for me, I've found that this works very, very well. So we got the outside of the barrel all cleaned up, so nice and shiny. Can't forget about the inside, but we're gonna let that stuff still soak on there a little bit longer. So let's move on to the next part. And we got this whole piece here, and this is always going to be pretty dirty. So again, for this, get your scrub brush nice and oiled up, and then just start scrubbing. You want to get all the parts, make sure to get the inside wall, between all these grooves, although as far as those grooves are concerned, There's another thing that I use that I'll show in just a second that makes getting that stuff a little easier. Like I said, just get all the areas, like I said, the inside walls, and just give it a good scrub down. Now, I had mentioned that, wanting to get some grooves. So another, just vastly complicated thing that you may or may not find around your house, Q-tips. I find Q-tips to work fantastic. So just dip some in there. And then I especially like to go along, the ride there, or the slide, I should say. And you can see just all that blackness right on there. But this is important. If you just think about it from a mechanical perspective, there's a whole bunch of friction that happens right along here. So I always like to make sure that's as clean as possible. And then at the end, as we'll get to, I always like to make sure that's still got some lubricant on it because, as I said, very, very high friction area. But yeah, just use a Q-tip to kind of get into all the different crevices. Again, you can see very black. As I say in all my other cleaning videos too, am I going to keep going with the Q-tip and going with the Q-tip until I do this and the Q-tip is just bright white? I am not. To me, taking things, you can do a little bit more than that is necessary. Again, this is my opinion, but these guns are built to last. They're built to work under extreme conditions, and in my mind, a quote-unquote extreme condition would be being dirty. So wipe that a few times, and then we'll take the T-shirt now and try to get to some of these other areas too. So I'll come down here. And there we go, all taken care of there. I don't do anything with the spring. I suppose you could, but I mean, for me, if you want to scrub it down, I don't see anything wrong with that, but I really never do that much with it. Now, maybe if I've gone through 5 cleanings and haven't, touched it, then I'd touch it, but this is by no means 5 cleanings since I've owned the gun, so I'm not going to touch it this time around. But that's pretty straightforward. You would just scrub it down and then, dry it off. So that's very kind of an in-your-face type cleaning. As far as the lower portion, I always like to just try to scrub all the metal components. And I am never shy. Maybe some people are thinking, oh man, that's so much lubricant. Well, I'd rather have too much than too little. That's just my personal philosophy. So just get all those areas scrubbed. You can see right up there. So just, scrub them all down. And then once again, the Q-tips are going to come into play because there are a whole bunch of crevices right here. So this is kind of like the cover fire. It's just you're doing everything and then you send in the special forces. And right here are the special forces that come in here through all the different grooves. So we just did our, maybe our carpet bombing run. Now we're sending in the Marines or the special forces or the, whoever. We got to get into these nooks and crannies. So was that a good analogy or not? I'm thinking to myself right now as I do this. Oh well, so maybe in the feed or in the comment section, did you like that analogy or was that no good? I thought it was pretty good, but again, just like the first time, do these need to be, perfectly white when you're done? In my opinion, no, but that's just my opinion. So let's clean it out as best as you can with this, the T-shirt again. And I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up, but that looks pretty beautiful down in there, nice and clean. So now we need to get to the barrel. Remember, this has been soaking for a while. Let's keep this on the screen. There we go. This has been soaking for a while. So now we need to try to get things loose or broken now. So I just use a scrub brush, which, this other end is what I use to, pull the swab through. But on the other end, and this just comes with the cleaning kit that I have. So let's put some oil and such on this one. In fact, I'll just... So there we go. We're just going to slide that through. Now the number of times you need to do this, I like to do 3 or 4. Is that really necessary? Well, I don't know, but that's just what I do. So you get that through a few times. We can tape that off. And now we need to, just clean that out. So back to the swabs over here. So let's get this back through here. You already saw this once. This is always the part that determines, is the video going to be short or is it going to be long? Because how easy can I get there? But there we go. Nope. Figures. I talk about it like that and then I jinx myself. So, all right, Clay. Talk to me, Goose. I'm under pressure right now. Who can name that movie? Leave it in the comment section below. Talk to me, Goose. All right, here we go. So let's just get the barrel cleaned out, and you can see there, still quite a bit of grime on it. So we can just go a few times there. Do you really need to do it with 2 swabs? Probably not, but hey, why not? So let's just do it one more time to make sure. And you can see there, still a little stuff on it, but much cleaner than, that first swab. So we got there. So now our barrel is all clean, and actually the gun itself is all cleaned up now. But what I like to do is keep a little bit, make sure it's just lubricated, especially when it sits in storage, or just when you're shooting it. These guns come, lubricated up. I still remember a story. I heard about a friend who, or I should say a friend of a friend who got a gun and they cleaned it like perfect, and they had it dry as could be, and then their gun kept locking up. And they took it in and said, well, geez, there's no lubricant anymore on this thing. So as soon as he did that, everything started to work fine. And it makes sense from a physics perspective. I mean, when you have areas of friction, you want to make that friction as easy as possible. So let's just get things all lubricated up. Now, you don't need a ton, but all I like to do is just take a cotton swab and just dab it in the oil. And then you just take that and wipe it down over the component. That way it's got, just that fine, thin film of grease on it that will keep it nice and smooth for, the next time whenever you do use it. So again here, just gonna put that fine film. By no means does it need to be a ton. Just get it in there. And then for this part, I always do like to use a Q-tip to put it on. Remember these slides right here, where it goes back and forth with every trigger pull. You want to definitely make sure those are stayed, lubed up. So put some up there on those components. So there we go. That has got a nice coat on it. And then same thing here. All these parts, any sort of metal, just keep a little bit of fine of a lubricant on it. And there you go. Now it's time to reassemble. So the first thing you're going to do is put your barrel in. So just put your barrel in. You want these components right here to be sticking up and looking at you when you do it. Then you need to put in the spring. The key thing, and this comes with the package, is it tells you the exact formation of how you need to put these in. So the slides need to be, well, if you buy this gun, this will come with it, and it'll tell you exactly how you need to do it. So don't fret about it, but just know that the spring does need to go in a certain way. Which I'm apparently not doing right now. There we go. So that's in. I'll be honest, not the easiest thing to do, but by no means is it rocket science. You saw it took a little finagling right there. So then you're just gonna line up your holes right there. It's kind of like a little puzzle. All right, I'm trying to get this on cam. So there we go. You're gonna lock it, the slide back. So I just pushed this part, got the slide lock in place, and we're gonna take this lever. And there we go. Now it's still kind of shiny, maybe you notice that. So I like to just take one over, because these parts will get, you know, greasy because you got it on your fingers. So just take that t-shirt and give it a once over. And here we go. All good to go, all cleaned up, and ready for the next time at the range. So if you found this video helpful, please click that like button. Any comments are always welcome. Definitely check out the channel. It's more than just cleaning videos. You know, I've done videos where I first bought it and unboxed it, and then I took it to the range. And now this is kind of like the third video in the trilogy of me cleaning it. So there are a lot of other videos on the channel, so I'd encourage you to check those out. And you know, hopefully you decide to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.